Welcome to episode 193, 194 actually. As always, let's start with our gratitude attitude. So, if you would please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let all your stress melt away. Take one more deep breath. As you exhale, completely let yourself go. Now, think of one thing that you're thankful for that happened in the past week. Once you identify that, think about why you're thankful. And now let's set it free. If you're by yourself, say it out loud what you're thankful for and why. If you're with someone, tell it to each other. All right. So, Atisha, an Indian yogi, he went to Tibet to teach Buddhism at the invitation of Tibetan king. And after spending a few years there, he decided to return to India. And the Tibetan people requested that he give one final teaching before he left. And this teaching became one of the most important spiritual instructions that were ever given, offering profound insights on how to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. Such a lot of day to day wisdom in that uh, recommendations on what to do, what not to do. So over the next few weeks, let's explore what Atisha taught and see how we can apply some of his wisdom in our daily lives. So first thing he said that until we achieve enlightenment or liberation, reliance on our spiritual guide is extremely important. So spiritual guide is your guru, right? Following the advice and instruction of your guru is one of the most important things we can do on the path to liberation and enlightenment. Growing up, I remember my grandma used to tell me, do what the guru says, not what he does. And for the longest time, I never fully understood what she meant. But over time, I realized that it's important to follow the guru's advice because a genuine guru has our best interest at heart. They guide you based on what you need, not necessarily what you want to hear. And because of that, a guru may give different advice to different disciples, depending on their level of spiritual development. And that's the key. Is that they may say something to you and something else to someone else, right? Regardless, you follow specific advice for you. Very important thing. The next thing Atisha said was that we cannot become enlightened through understanding alone. We must practice. And if you think about it, most of us know what the right thing to do much of the time. But knowledge by itself is not enough. We must put that knowledge into action. Only through consistent practice we can make progress towards enlightenment. Next, he advised that we should avoid places that disturb our minds and remain where our virtue increases. And this is very interesting and very important, right? Because it also, I think, is more difficult to implement. Because our habits, our friendship, our relationship, our attachment, right? Avoid places that disturb our mind and remain where our virtue increases. Growing up, I used to hear this a lot, Sange Orang, right? Which means you become like the company you keep. And therefore, it's very important to spend time with people who support and advance our spiritual growth rather than those who pull us away from it. There's a famous Tibetan story. There was this small village, and there were these two young men about same age. One was a scholarly person, and he practiced spirituality every day. The other guy was just simply drifting through life, right? He had no direction. One day, they both decided to leave the town. The guy who was scholarly, he went to Lhasa, a big city in Tibet. And the guy who was just drifting through life, he went to a monastery. 12 months go by. And they both come back to the village to visit. The scholarly man had become a drunkard, if you will. While the man who had been just drifting through, he had become a monk. So what happened? The scholarly guy, when he went to Lhasa to make ends meet, he started working at a hotel where people from all over different places would visit the city. And when these people came to the city, they were usually lonely, right? So they would want alcohol. And this guy was an attendant at the hotel, so they would ask him to go get alcohol for them. And then he'll get some tips. And then soon enough, he started using his tip money to buy his own alcohol. And then eventually he lost his way. The man who went to monastery instead, right, he spent his days observing the monks and then started following their footsteps, just a little bit at a time. and then ended up being a monk. So the power of our surrounding is undeniable. We must choose carefully who we spend our time with. I know it's not easy, but we should avoid friends who increase our delusions and cultivate friendship with those who help us grow spiritually. So if nothing else comes out of today, I think this is a good takeaway, right? That it's the company you keep. The next piece of advice Atisha said was that since worldly activities never come to an end, we should limit the amount of time we spend on them. And I'm sure we all heard this. I heard so many different times where people say, well, I'll focus on my spiritual practice after I retire, or once the kids are out of the house, or after some vague future milestone. But we all know that there is no end to worldly responsibilities. The reasons change and the goalposts keep moving. So there is no better time than now. If we are considering deepening our spiritual practice, we should begin today rather than waiting for some future event that merely serves as a delay rather than a genuine plan. Next, he said that friends, possessions, and objects of desire provide no more satisfaction than drinking seawater. Therefore, we should practice contentment. And we discuss this quite often, right? Because as we all know, if you drink salty water, it does not satisfy our thirst. In fact, it makes us more thirsty. Similarly, if we pursue more material wealth, it only creates a desire for even more. There is never a final destination, right? It keeps moving. I don't know whether I told you this, but one of my very good friend, he's a gynecologist in India, my dearest friend actually. Oh, by the way, interesting story. He has delivered 3,300 babies. 3,300 babies. That's insane, I think. But the guy is a workaholic, right? He works 7 days a week. And one of our other friends, and three of us were talking once, and one of our other friends said something interesting. He said, when he's other guy is also a doctor. He says when both of them were in medical school, my gynecologist friend said that all I'm looking for in life is 1 crore rupees. Okay. So that's $100,000. That was his goal in life. Okay. I think, yeah. It came and went. He probably has at least 100 times more than that, if not more. Right. But he just doesn't take a break. Right. So more material wealth you create, more there is desire. Simply want more. That's just not good. Okay. And I think we said this so many times. Unless you are Elon Musk, there's always one guy who has more money than you. Unless you are president of the United States, there's always one guy who has more power than you. So therefore, we must learn to recognize what's enough and devote more of our time and energy to what is truly meaningful, pursuing liberation and enlightenment. So let's stop here for today because so much to take and so much to reflect upon. I encourage you to think about Atisha's advice and identify one or two insights that you can begin implementing immediately, right? Not all at once, just take one, not even two. Because real progress comes not from understanding alone, but from putting wisdom into practice. So, in today's meditation, as always, we'll settle down in our hearts. We're going to do something different. Let's focus on the clarity of our mind. So, what do I mean by that? We'll try to visualize our very subtle mind, our soul, if you will. Its nature is clarity. It has no form, it has no color, it has no shape, and it pervades through the universe. So we'll have this generic image in our mind, and however generic we can get, right? If you just get a light, that I'm okay with that, right? Whatever you get it. But then once you have that image, say, okay, its nature is clarity, no form, no shape, no color, pervades through the universe, right here at the center of your heart. And then once you have that imagination, that image in your mind, just focus on that image, right? Just clarity. And then focus on that clarity. And of course, I'm going to guide you through the whole thing. So, uh, if you're ready, let's begin. Please get into your meditation posture. Your back straight, your spine upright, shoulders leveled, gently close your eyes. Keep your mouth just a little bit open. So any stress you may have in your jaws will dissipate. Palms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching each other. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let yourself completely loose like a rag doll. Now, bring your attention to the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. Feel the cool air as you breathe in. Feel slightly warmer air as you breathe out. Keep your attention on your breath for a few moments on your own. Now, bring your attention at your heart. Imagine everything that happened before this moment melts into light and disappears. Things that have not yet happened are not real anyway. So it's just this moment. Enjoy the peaceful nature of your root mind in this moment. Let this peaceful moment bring the next peaceful moment. Remember, there is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. Just enjoy. Now, bring your focus at the center of your heart, where your root mind resides. And envision your root mind, whose nature is clarity. Just imagine. It has no form. It has no shape. It has no color. pervades through the universe. And its function is to perceive. Try to get a generic image in your mind. Its nature is clarity. It has no form, shape, or color. It pervades through the universe. And once you have that generic image, just focus on the clarity of your mind. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Any questions? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, I've been thinking about this a lot, but anytime anytime I have desire, I separate myself from my happiness because desire is your mind is comparing and it's creating a dissatisfaction. I want that over there, or I want that this person, or I want things to be different. And it seems like every time, and sometimes when I meditate, I just think the Buddha has a concept in nirvana, no self, but I come to the understanding that the conventional self is has to exist, but if you identify with this self and you try to make it happy by fulfilling your desires, you're always going to create dissatisfaction and suffering.
Because salty water.
Yeah, and then we all want love, we all want happiness, and we want it permanent, but you can't get permanence from anything that's temporary. And the Buddha says everything is impermanence, everything is temporary.
And that's the thing, right? We all want happiness, you said, but we are looking for that happiness outside of ourselves,
Yeah,
right?
not
That is
within the
that is the
things.
challenge.
Huh?
Because true happiness is within us,
Yeah, we're
right?
looking for it in the wrong place.
Exactly. So, if you're looking for power, lust, money, whatever, right? It's all external.
and it never satisfies.
It,
You
it
know,
never, it
it
never went.
always it always leads to wanting more and more and more because it's not permanent. It can't be permanent because everything changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the key to this thing is, I said this enough times, is contentment, right?
Yeah.
Moment, you said you want to change things. I think I heard that somewhere. But, uh, let's not change anything.
Yeah. And I
Just
think
accept the things the way they are.
yeah, anytime you think I want things to be different, right there you're
You're
creating
not happy.
something.
You're not happy because otherwise you'll be fine with the things the way they are.
Yeah. And this applies, I think, to anything, relationships,
Everything.
cars, money.
Everything, right? Moment you want something other than what it is, right? You just lost your peace of mind.
Yeah. And I think, it can be a mental habit, like you get up in the morning and you say, what do I want today? What's going to make me happy? So you already start chasing these things, and you plot and you ploy and you strategize to get these things, but they're illusionary because they can never satisfy.
Universe gives us what we need. It's what we want, is what the challenge is for, right? So, I mean, for the most part, I'm not talking about people who are, you know, go to sleep hungry. I mean, that's a different level of, I
Hmm.
can't reach contentment to that group of people. But for the rest of us, right, universe has given what we need.
Yeah.
So
And when you said what did you say? You said you become like the company you keep. You
yeah,
keep, and the teaching in Buddhism's the same. Hang out with the sangha.
yeah, yeah. So
And I heard somebody say one time, you become like the 5 people you hang out with the most.
that's right. That's absolutely right. So,
Yeah. So,
any
but
other questions? Anybody else?
thanks, Narav.
You're welcome, my friend. No one? I want to stop.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
no,
Trevor.
no question. No, I said great discussion.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.